Over the past couple of months since the release of the Air Jordan 1 Chicago Lost and Found, anytime it came up in conversation or in videos or anything like that about a possible restock, I was probably more pessimistic than anyone. I just really in my heart did not believe that we would see in America like these re-release on the Nike sneakers app through like a Jordan Reserve or like a shock drop or anything like that. But we have been seeing some restocks here and there. On the Nike sneakers app over in the UK, they did a sneakers pass. There was a Foot Locker in Utah that got a little restock for All-Star Weekend. And I was pretty much like convinced, like since January came and went, and like there's so many releases coming out that we really wouldn't see a restock until I saw the previews for the movie Air. Now, if you guys still haven't yet heard of the movie Air, it stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. It also has like a really dope cast. It has Chris Tucker, Marlon Wayans, Jason Bateman's in this movie. And basically this movie centers around, Nike's existence before Michael Jordan signed to them and before the Air Jordan 1. So this is them in pursuit of signing Michael Jordan out of college, going to his parents, doing everything that they got to do in order to sign Michael Jordan to Nike, because in those days Nike was an unknown company. They weren't really doing so well, and after they came up with the Air Jordan 1, it pretty much changed the whole sneaker game. Me and you wouldn't even be having this conversation right now if it wasn't for the Air Jordan 1 Chicago. It's the most iconic, maybe the most important sneaker of all time. Now, when it comes to the Air Jordan 1 Chicago Lost and Found, we all know that the release was crazy. Everybody's like been patiently waiting for a restock, and it just really hasn't happened. When I saw the previews for this movie and I saw the scene where Michael Jordan's mom's talking to somebody on the phone, I guess it was like somebody that's supposed to be at Nike, and said that, something about a shoe, and, it's not just a shoe once my son puts it on, right? And she was holding, or there's like a cut to the Air Jordan 1 Chicago. Right then and there, I knew that there had to be like a, something else special planned in terms of Nike, because they knew that this movie was being filmed well in advance, right? And then they did drop the Air Jordan 1 Chicago Lost and Found. And with it being in this movie, my first thought was, this sneaker is definitely going to go up in value. Like, if you want them, pick them up now. Like, definitely get them now. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but the fact that that sneaker is in that movie that way, and we're seeing restocks at like all these other kind of little places, little boutiques, little places over in Europe. All-Star Weekend has some pairs. Plus, there's rumors that they're already loaded up on the Nike back end, right? And there's like around 20,000 pairs or so already preloaded. I don't know how true that is, but that's, sort of been the rumor for, the past few weeks, maybe the past month or so. I kind of feel like now that we may see another restock for the Air Jordan 1 Chicago Lost and Found. I was very pessimistic before. I really didn't think that it was going to happen, right? Like, I was pretty much convinced that it was done, because Nike really doesn't, and Jordan Brand really doesn't restock like hype sneakers very often. Like Travis Scott collabs, they don't really restock those, but they did just restock those Air Max 1 Travis Scotts a couple of weeks ago on a shock drop. But Nike just needs to go ahead and just do that. Now, this movie is coming out in April. It's going to have basically 2 releases. It's going to drop in movie theaters, and then later on in the month, it's going to be dropping on Amazon Prime. Amazon basically funded this whole entire movie, so it's basically like an Amazon exclusive kind of thing, but it will be dropping in movie theaters ahead of time, and then it'll go to Amazon Prime. So everybody's going to be able to watch this movie. Whether you have Amazon Prime or not, I'm sure your friends have it. Maybe you can get a login. Whatever you got to do, right? Like, if you really want to see it, this sneaker and this movie is definitely gonna make more waves. It's not gonna just fall to the wayside. Now, it's probably not gonna have the same amount of hype as The Last Dance did, right? Because that was just like a perfect storm. It was a 10-part series. Everybody was at home, from COVID. Everybody was, sort of getting extra money and stuff like that because they were, the government was giving out money. Whatever the case may be, right? Like, people were at home. Eyeballs were fixated on that because there was really nothing else on in those, during that time. So everybody was like, watching The Last Dance, really getting hyped up about Michael Jordan, because let's just face it, man, Michael Jordan is a superhero. And the Air Jordan 1 Chicago, like, there may not be a more important sneaker to any of us, right? Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You wouldn't be watching this video. You wouldn't even really like sneakers, because the sneaker game really changed because of Michael Jordan. Like, people can take credit all they want, but Michael Jordan is the force behind it. Nike just needs to quit playing around, man. Just quit playing around and drop The Air Jordan 1 Chicago Lost and Founds, we know you got them. We know that these sneakers never sell out. Like, if I was a betting man, right? Like, I would probably say that we probably will see them restock again. Like, and I was totally convinced that we wouldn't. And now, because of this movie, I really think that we may see them very, very soon. Probably, I would say probably in April, man. We may see them before that, but I think that this movie is really going to play a major factor into it, because Nike knew that movie was coming out. They signed off on it. Obviously, it's about them. And, you know, they just so happened to drop the Air Jordan 1 Chicago in November of 2022, you know, so roughly, 6 months or so before this movie was scheduled to drop. So I do think there's some validity to it, guys, and if you're patient, right, like, we probably could see something very, very soon. But listen, I know how much you guys really, really want this sneaker. I know how much you guys have really been, just waiting for it patiently, just every day, waiting for news and things like that. But listen, I promise you, right, if you're subscribed to my channel, I'm going to make a community post if anything ever happens, so you'll get notified, right? You'll see it on your feed, and you'll get notified that I dropped information. I'll put it right on YouTube. If I can't get to a video or make a video in that amount of time, I'll just make a community post to let you guys know, because I know how much it means to you guys. So, other than that, that's just my thought on that. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys think that we're going to see these restock now, or you think it's a one and done and we won't see them, drop on the Nike sneakers app. Just let me know what your thoughts are down below. Other than that, I'd like to thank you all for your time. Thanks for stopping over here to check out another one of my videos. Stay safe out there. I love you all. Thank you for everything you do for me. I'm out. Peace. For more sneaker content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you hit that notification bell so you never miss a video.